Welcome, Leo. It's October 2020. Dadichi here with your month in focus, and I'll tell you some pretty significant transits have occurred. Straight off the bat, we see the full moon taking place there in your ninth house with a retrograde Mars. Mars is a very good planet for you. In fact, it's probably next to the Sun, the best planet. The full moon taking place there in one of the nicest houses of the zodiac, in conjunction with Mars, really starts to bring luck your way. It is what we call a luck formation, and apart from the fact that the moon is full, it's a very spiritual connection because the moon rules this 12th house of Cancer. So any connection between the 12th house and the 9th house brings a lot of insight, a lot of intuitive power to the situation. The other factor I wanted to talk about here, especially with the triangular or what we call trine aspect to Saturn, Pluto and Jupiter, do you notice these are now no longer retrograde? That's great because this is your day-to-day routine, it's your working environment, it's your health and well-being, it's the debts, all of those things. I mean, we've all had a whole lot of readjustment in terms of our scheduling, our routine. But for you, this means a shift in a positive way, a greater clarity on what it is that you need to do day by day in your everyday affairs. Around the 14th or 15th, I'd like you to keep your eye on Mercury. This is your finance planet, and it's going to go retrograde this month. So even though these outermost planets, they're very important because when they go retrograde, it takes a long time for them to get back. Still, even though they're direct, it's going to take a little bit of time. Mars is going to be retrograde probably till the end of the year, early next year. So all of that's actually good for you. But there we see Mercury, your finance planet, an income profitable planet ruling the 11th house and 2nd house simultaneously, going stationary on the 14th. In this 4th house, this is an angular house. 1st, 4th, 7th, 10th. These are the angular houses, what we call foreground, so they have an important part to play in the day-to-day affairs. And because this is a finance planet, some of your negotiations, some of what you expect to happen in terms of income, because 2nd house is your income, may not pan out. So you need to be a step ahead of that, especially around the 17th, when the moon makes its connection here. Around that time, you might find that you're a little short. You don't have quite as much as you had anticipated in your wallet. So be careful of that. Still, you see this nice triangular aspect to Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn here from Venus. Venus is the career planet. So you may not have the money you want immediately because of that retrogression, but you do have some opportunity or a light at the end of the tunnel, if I could put it that way, due to this placement of Venus and its impact here. That's going to be stronger on the 22nd and 23rd. Why? Because that lunar movement, which is a very quick moving body, activates these aspects. Do you see this here? Look at that. That's very, very powerful. And there you've got some nice triangular aspects to Uranus around the 23rd, 24th, when the Sun also simultaneously, by the way, moves into Scorpio, which is the 4th sector of your horoscope. That's your domestic sphere, that's your family life, and so a lot more focus is going to be there, and usually is at this time of the year. Mercury also moves into its just temporarily at the very, very end of the month into the 3rd house here, which is negotiations. And notice both these planets here, Mercury, Venus, edging their way in, one retrograde, there they go, on the, I've got to look at this carefully, 28th, into your 3rd house of contracts, negotiations, etc., etc. Now also you'll notice Venus is making a nice aspect to Saturn, which is the ruling planet or co-ruling planet of your 7th house of relationships. So that's a good time to really cement your feelings with your loved one, especially when we see the moon move up here into that triangular aspect later around the 30th, 31st. And again there, well, I'm a little into the next month. The moon is getting very, very bright and finishes the month on that full moon again. So it's 2 full moons in the 1 month in 2 separate signs. That one there occurring right at the tail end of the month on the 31st in your career sector. And moon is very comfortably placed there because Taurus is what we call its exaltation sign, or the sign where it functions best. Interesting, for some of you, especially if you're entrepreneurial, the moon rules your 12th house, so that has a foreign connotation. Work outside the norm, work in foreign areas, communicating with people at a distance. So that's an interesting end to the month. There's more on the Leo monthly forecast. You can get that at astrology.com.au with your daily, the weeklies that I'm doing now, and the yearly, which we're coming to the end of, but you still get this in context. Hit the subscribe button. If you need to drop me a line or have a personal reading with me, I'm all yours. Look forward to your company next month. Take care. Bye-bye.